James Comey was arraigned this morning, so here's kind of what we know about how this process is going to play out for him. First of all, an arraignment is just a formal reading of the charges. Sometimes the judge reads the indictment. Most of the time, a defendant waives the judge reading that indictment to them, saying, hey, I've already read it. But also, most indictments are multiple pages long. This indictment was a whopping page and a half, and it didn't even include all the names. It basically just said, we're charging him with this and with this. So no facts included in there, just a very short indictment. Now, to show up at this arraignment, you can either be summoned or you can be arrested once the indictment is issued. If the person is represented by an attorney, 9 times out of 10, they will give you the ability to just show up under a summons instead of sending the marshals out to arrest you. And that's what happened here. They allowed him to show up under a summons, and he did, and he was arraigned. But a couple of interesting things came out during this hearing about the future process of this case and how it's going to proceed. First of all, the trial date is scheduled for January. That's pretty fast, but don't expect it to actually go in January because cases often get continued and they continue it over to the next term. So there are terms of court. This is the first term of court that they are scheduling it for, but it could easily be pushed out. But the judge is saying, hey, I'm not holding this up. We are going to move forward in this case. Just because you can't get the discovery over to the defendant government, that is not going to be adequate grounds for me to continue this case. So he's cautioning the government now to not drag their feet on this. He's going to move it as fast as he possibly can. The defense attorneys have also come in and said that they're going to file multiple motions in the next coming days and weeks to challenge this indictment. They're going to say this is a malicious prosecution and ask this case to be thrown out based on that. They're going to challenge the grand jury proceedings and who knows what else. But they're going to challenge this to see if they can stop it from actually getting to a trial, to a jury or to a judge, whichever one they decide to have hear it. They're going to try and stop it from getting that far. The next thing that you're going to see is a hearing on the motions that the defense has filed, at least 5 of them. I think they said that was going to be in early November. So that's the next thing that you'll see. And after that, there'll be a pretrial conference. Pretrial conference is just for all of the parties to come in and talk to the judge and tell the judge if there's any issues that are outstanding, whether they'll be ready for trial on that January date, I think it's January 5th, or if they need a continuance, that's when they'll ask for it. So we're waiting on a pretrial conference and a hearing on those motions where the judge will decide whether to let these charges proceed or not.